After 14 days on a bicycle here in Vietnam, going from Saigon to Hanoi, we reached our goal, our destination. So now we are, all of us, happy and sound in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. I'm standing outside the mausoleum of the big leader here, Ho Chi Minh, who died in 1969. And his remains are well kept inside the mausoleum behind me. But reaching our destination, we ended up at the Embassy of Sweden and learned a lot about Sweden and Vietnam relations. Camilla Mellander, Ambassador of Sweden in Hanoi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How would you describe your challenges being a Swedish ambassador in the capital of Vietnam?
First of all, let me say that Vietnam is a fantastic country, and I'm very, very happy to be here. When it comes to challenges, I would say that from an economic point of view, there are of course some challenges. One challenge is corruption. Corruption is widespread, and for the Swedish companies that want to invest here, that's a big challenge for them. And we try to work with the Vietnamese authorities when it comes to these issues. And there are also challenges when it comes to the environment. And we have a lot of good solutions in Sweden, and we hope to be able to bring Swedish companies here that can establish themselves here and work with issues on green solutions.
Which is, would you say, the potential for increased trade between Sweden and Vietnam?
I would assume that Swedish high-tech companies would have a good investment opportunity in Vietnam, and I would assume that Vietnamese companies in some of the sectors they are in at already, that is the textile sector and the manufacturing sector, would have a good opportunity of exporting to Sweden. I know a lot of companies already do. I know that IKEA, for example, is one of the largest Swedish companies here, and they have a lot of manufacturing that they buy from Vietnamese producers, and around 250,000 people are actually working manufacturing for IKEA here in Vietnam.
We have now been cycling through Vietnam for 14 days before we end up here at the embassy, and we have seen a lot of people, a lot of nice people welcoming us, and I can say, having been here 30 years ago, that I see fantastic economic development here, all over the place.
It's amazing.
Where does the money come from?
Some of the money, of course, is foreign investment. There's been a high degree of foreign investment in this country, but I would say that people here also, of course, find funding from Vietnamese sources, and a lot of the small companies you see here are totally 100% funded by Vietnamese capital. And since the Doi Moi reform policy was introduced in 1986, you've seen a tremendous increase in the number of companies.
And the paradox is, with this economic activity based on private capital, obviously, and then it's also a communistic dictatorship. Let's face it.
It's a one-party state, yes. And
how does this go together?
Well, it is a market economy, but with a socialistic base. I think that's how they formulate it. So it does go together somehow. I think it would be very good if Vietnam could take the second step on this reform policy and move to the Doi Moi 2 kind of policy, because there are a lot of reforms that need to be done when it comes to the economic sector.
And what about human rights?
Well, human rights, that's a problem. We have seen a deterioration of the human rights situation for bloggers for the last year, and this is something that we, as Swedish representatives of the Swedish government, feel very strongly about. Human rights is very central for Sweden, and we of course want to contribute to freedom of expression. That's something that's very, very important in Sweden, and we hope that this will also be possible in Vietnam.
Finally, why is it important for Sweden to have an embassy in Hanoi?
It's important for Sweden because we have such a good relationship with Vietnam. We were here already in 1969, before other Western countries were here. The relationship is almost like a personal relationship between our countries, and we've had very important development cooperation projects for a very long time. Just to mention one, the Bai Bang paper mill, and we've built hospitals in this country, and for us now, representing the Swedish government, it's important also to establish economic relations. So we want to bring Swedish companies to Vietnam to invest in the still vibrant Vietnamese economy.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
And Vietnam, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.